it is not a coffee bean. And so, I'm looking at what's happening. I'm looking at, we've got a consumable product. We've got a product that people are drinking every day, all day, not one time a day, not 2 times a day, but even 3 times a day. We've got a product that people are drinking hot. They're drinking it cold. They're drinking it on ice. They're drinking it with whipped cream. They're drinking it black. They're drinking it light skin. They're drinking it whatever you want to call it. They're drinking it. And I am telling you, I had some family members that were here tonight, Brandy and Mike, and I see Mrs. Nivens on the line, Rodrigo. I am so excited for you guys now that you have a consumable daily product that people are going to use every single day. I am telling you that I spoke with a gentleman last night. This gentleman, yesterday, not last night, that would be telling a tale, yesterday afternoon. And he's 80 years old. He's been in the profession of network marketing since he was a teenager. He says he will never, he said he'll go to his grave as a network marketer. And when he told me, Brandy and Mike, that he lost 3.4 pounds in 24 hours on our Skinny Brew coffee. Let me say that again. 80 years old. That he's not in the gym. Hello. He's not in the gym. He's not like on some freaky diet. But he lost 3.4 pounds in 24 hours. He said, your company, your reps must not understand what they've got their hands on. Not only do they have a consumable product, not only is it coffee, hello, we don't even have to explain where coffee comes from. It comes from the heavens, right? But we've got a product that now people are going to drink it and they're going to have energy and they're going to lose weight. You mean to tell me that my boss could have, well, not my boss because I don't have a boss, I am my boss, but you mean to tell me that your boss could have a better attitude, a better mood, right? We've got a product. He said, your reps may not understand what they've got on their hands. And so all I'm going to say is I am eternally grateful to be a part of It Works Global. I am eternally grateful to be a part of this wave, this movement. And I feel like, although we may not have been here when they launched almost 20 years ago, we are here at the beginning of history in the making. We are here at the beginning of something that's going to be so monumental. And I am telling you that all you've got to do is be willing to open up your mouth and say, hello. Oh, do you drink coffee? No, you don't drink coffee. Do you drink tea? Well, matter of fact, do you know someone who does? Right? Because all I know is that coffee is the number 2 consumed beverage in the world daily. That we now get a piece of the pie, of the $9 billion pie, yearly gross sales worldwide from a beverage called coffee. And so I'm grateful to be on this line. I'm grateful that I got that phone call 17 months ago. And I can only say that thank you, God, that you were thinking about me when you decided to, put this in my spirit that we needed to go ahead and partner with It Works Global. I am grateful to God for Mark Pentecost, Cindy Pentecost, for the Queen herself, Pam and Dave, for the entire Pentecost family, for corporate, for making the decision to give us this product that's consumable, that's highly retailable, and that we can utilize every single day. I'm saying that I'm smarter because of this Skinny Brew coffee. I am smarter because of the Skinny Brew coffee. And I'm going to throw this back to you, Mike and Brandy. Thanks for having me.
That's awesome, Nina. No, thanks for being here. I want to say something real quick, and then I got to run down and take care of kids. But, we've been on this road trip since Friday. I think we left Friday. And I just want to share with everyone the importance of getting back to, the basics and hosting events. So since we've been on this road trip, tomorrow is going to be our 3rd event in like 3 days. And, we stopped in Charlotte and did a great event with, Miss Jennifer Nivens. And, when you are in front of people and they're tasting the products and they're hearing the story, she got new distributors, she got new customers. We did a event today in Cleveland here in Ohio. We had 13 guests, and we got a new distributor that had just joined, came to the party. We had a distributor that's planning on joining. One of the girls got a 200, Juliana got a 200 BV customer. The other girl, Ashley, got 2 really big BV customer orders. get back in living rooms. I know we build a lot on social, and I'm super, like, I build 90% of my business on social, but get back in the living rooms. Get people in front of you, sample the products, let them try it. We have another one tomorrow night in a city called Barberton here in Ohio, and then we have another one we're doing something at a restaurant with a group on Wednesday. And then Friday morning we leave and go to Philly. So we are not stopping. We are getting in as many rooms as we can. We're getting in front of as many people as we can. And something I want to share, Nina was saying, talk to everybody. And if you have not learned from Mrs. Nina Moore yet, then you need to pay attention tonight. But talk to everybody. And on this road trip, like 4 or 5 hours in or something, we stopped in Georgia at a restaurant. And the hostess was telling me, she was talking about how cute Anya was, and she's like, it makes me want to go home and hug my babies. And I was like, well, I have something that can help you stay home with your babies. We need to chat. And I pulled out a Blitz card. So talk to everyone you meet, but more important than just talking to them is listening. People will tell you how to sell them the opportunity, or they will tell you how to sell them the products if you just listen. So listen a little more, talk a little less, and once they give you that, their why or that reason, or they need to lose weight, or they want to be with their kids, or their car broke down, or they need extra money, once they give you that little glimpse of their life, then you just jump on it. So that's my 2 cents I want to add.
Well, we're going to get right to the best part of tonight, and that is with Mrs. Pam Sowder. And do we have her unmuted, Nina? We'll check her. Pam, are you live?
I'm live. I'm here.
You're live.
Yeah.
Listen, we are so excited to have you on the call tonight, Pam. We typically do our leadership calls, and they're like a private Zoom, and we cover a bunch of information. We always have a guest speaker, but tonight, we decided to take it live and go public because there's just so much excitement going on right now. The company's in momentum, and we're honored and privileged to have you on this call here tonight because you are the co-founder of this company. You found the wrap. You are the original queen of It Works Global. And for those of you that may not know Pam, I was fortunate to meet Pam in 2007. And she has earned millions of dollars in this company. But she just didn't wake up one day and have it all. What I love about your story, Pam, is you're like every mom out there. You had big dreams and big goals. And we just, first of all, tonight, if you don't mind, just kind of share your story with everybody for those that may not have ever met you or had the privilege to meet you. We've got our journals out, so we know we're taking notes tonight, but we'd love to at least start with your story.
Well, first of all, Nina makes me want to go get another cup of Skinny Brew, but I'd be up all night. So I'm drinking my collagen right now. Nina, thank you for all that, just inspiration. And I'm in agreement. I feel like It Works is It Works 2.0. I feel like with the streamlined compensation plan, with the new Try It presentation, everything is new, everything is fresh, and now Skinny Brew is added into that equation. But you're right, Mike, we didn't start out making millions. I remember being a 38-year-old mom of 2 children, ages 7 and 10, and needing money, extra money, just anything, my goal was to make an extra $1,000 a month to help compensate my husband's income. Our children were starting to get very active. They wanted to play. Adam wanted to play the drums. Kay was in music. She was also an athlete. Adam as well. She wanted to do dance. I mean, these things cost money. And as a mother and a father, you want to be able to give to your children what they want. So we started looking for a job for me. My husband put the word out that my wife is looking for a job. I'm looking for something part-time. This is back in 94, Mike, that's when you went to the classified ads. We didn't go to Google, Yahoo. We went to the classified ads, scoured the paper almost every day. And by the time, yes, we wore pantyhose back then. By the time that I had bought the pantyhose, bought the pumps, got the jacket, I wasn't going to be making any money. I mean, there was just not going to be enough coming in off of that hourly wage. And so I felt like, wow, I'm not into crafts. My girlfriends wanted me to help them with their craft projects, and I got fired from all of that. They're like, Pam, this is just not for you. So I'm just asking everyone, do you know anybody that's looking for somebody? And, as you do that, as you naturally network the people that are around you, I went out to dinner one night with my husband. Dave was in construction then. He managed a huge territory. His clients were multimillionaires in the construction industry, and we entertained a lot. As a matter of fact, my children, when asked, what do your parents do? They said, well, my dad's an entertainer and my mother does nothing. And that's because they, stay at home mom. Sometimes you get classified as that. So anyway, we're out to dinner. I talk about what I'm looking for, that dream day, being able to still be present with my two children, but also finding some way to bring in at least an extra $1,000 a month without having to go into a full-time position. I want it to be able to take them to the bus, pull them off the bus. Now, I have a degree in business education. I could substitute teach, but I did it once. It wasn't worth the $50. So I knew that wasn't it either. So, I could be called one of those desperate moms. After having dinner and talking about what I was looking for, 2 weeks later, I get that infamous phone call that a lot of us get, that call where we're invited to an opportunity meeting. Now, I'm 38 years old at the time. I had never been invited to an opportunity meeting. I didn't even know opportunity meetings existed. I didn't know a thing about this industry. Now, granted, I had gone to a Tupperware party with my mom. I knew she bought Avon, but I didn't know what that was. So I told this gentleman, who was one of my husband's best clients, that I would go to this meeting with no intention of going. I wanted to honor him. I knew who he was. He was important to my husband. He calls me the next morning after that meeting took place and asked me what I thought. And I had to make something up because I didn't want to tell him. I chickened out. I didn't want to go. Now, here's the interesting part. I want all of you to understand this. He was persistent. He kept saying, look, they're going to be there every Tuesday night at this opportunity meeting. And this is why it's important to get people in a room. We wouldn't be on this call today, on this live, on this Zoom, if he had not been persistent and if he had not gotten me to this meeting. I know that. I probably wouldn't be here today. So he persisted. I finally buckled and I said, all right, Dave and I'll go. And we went the following Tuesday night. Now, I walk into a classroom at a college near my home in Virginia. All men. I was the only woman in the room. And there's a guy up front, way too jazzed. You think Nina is on fire? This guy was like Nina times 3. Just imagine. And he kept taking $100 bill and throwing it on his forehead. It would fall off. And he was talking about money. He was talking about residual income. He was talking about working spare time, part-time, unlimited income. Lots of information in about 30 minutes. But one thing caught my mind. One thing. And that's when he said residual income. See, I sold computers back in the 80s for IBM. We didn't make any residual income. Every day was a new day. Every month started a new month. I always wanted to get paid off those annual renewed service contracts. Nope, they didn't pay us on that. I knew what residual income was, but I didn't know how to get it. I'm telling you, I walked out of that meeting. I don't believe I have slept since 1994. I could not get that opportunity off my mind. Now, it had nothing to do at the time with what they were offering as far as their service. What got my mind going was they were offering an opportunity with unlimited income potential, working spare time, part-time, full-time if you chose, on your own. It didn't matter if you were male or female, what color your hair was, what your background was. They also stunned me when they said, we will train you. Now that is unheard of. You know, when you go into a job, they'll train you just enough, whoever's training you, just so you can barely not quite be as good as them. And then you have to learn everything else on your own. So I'm like, what is this industry? The next morning, I get up early and I take the kids with me because it's summer and we go to the library. Once again, there's no Google. I go to the library and I look for books on this industry and multi-level marketing, network marketing. Today, we would be finding books on influencers, on social media. This is the things that we would be looking for. Labeled the same, it's still the same, but maybe some different verbiage. I couldn't believe what I read. I called that company to see if they would pick up the phone. They said, hello, I hung up. Okay, they're real. Now, I decided to join after several months of due diligence. And once I joined, fear set inside of me. I mean, I can't explain it. Some of you that are listening tonight, fear can trap you. Fear can keep you from reaching out. Fear can keep you from taking that excitement that you've already heard and telling your mom about your product, telling your mom or your sister or your best friend or your coworker what you just discovered. And it set into me fiercely. And so for 6 solid months, I did nothing. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't ask anybody. I didn't reach out to anybody. And finally, my sponsor called and said, enough is enough. You've got to go to this meeting. Here again, we hear this word meeting. You've got to go to this meeting. The #1 money earner is going to be there. He has a teaching degree just like you, Pam. He has 2 children, a boy and a girl, just like you. He's your age. Go and listen to him. Something told me to do that because my husband is still saying, Pam, we need some extra income coming in. And I was still fighting the job word, still fighting it. So I drove 2 hours by myself because, again, who was I going to ask? I didn't tell anybody. I drove the 2 hours. I went into the state of North Carolina from Virginia, sat in the back of this room, and this gentleman who was more Southern than me, my age, former teacher, stood up in front of that room and talked about how he did not live in fear. He saw the opportunity, he went after the opportunity, and he was making a 6-figure monthly income. And I mean, I am flipping blown away. I am like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong? I mean, every teacher in the school told him no. The principal laughed at him until the day he quit that job. And then the superintendent of schools calls and says, what are you doing? How do I get involved? And so I knew from hearing his story that I needed to overcome that fear. And, I waited in line to speak to him. A lot of you do that with me. That's why I'm always the last one to leave the room. I know that if I can hug you, if I can look you in the eye, and if I can tell you, you can do this, but you have to get over yourself. And what I mean by that is you get over those self-limiting beliefs, those fears, those thoughts that you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, you're not smart enough. What are my friends going to say? What are my neighbors going to say? What are my parents going to say? You know what they're going to say? Nothing. They're not going to, and if they do, then, hey, that's on them. And so once he called me out that night, see, he asked me, how's your business going? Well, not real well. You see, my husband, he says, you heard my wife wasn't interested in the beginning. Well, I have 2 children. Well, so do I. See, he called me out on everything. And then he looked me in the eye and he said, basically, get over yourself. But he said it in these words, you're just too prissy for this. Now, my breath sucked in and I started crying. And I knew what he meant by that. I thought I was too good for the industry. See, I had a degree. I had sold IBM computers. Whoop. I thought that I knew too much. What will people think? And this is what it was. Bottom line, my husband and I needed some extra money. I had to get over all of those thoughts. For 2 hours, I drive home by myself in that car, bawling like a baby. The next morning, I got up early and I got to work. I called my mom and I said, Mom, I'm coming over today. I have a form. You're going to sign it. You're going to be my customer. Best friend, you're going to meet me for coffee. I've got something to share with you. Dave, my husband, Big Daddy, we're having a meeting at our home on next Tuesday, and you're going to invite people. I'm going to invite people. And he picks up the phone like it's nothing. Get over here. My wife's going to make some tea and cookies. We're having a meeting. And we started. And I'm telling you, my first check in the industry will blow you away. It was $15.78.
Wow.
But they paid me, Mike. They wrote a check and sent it in the mail and paid me. I knew it was real. Next month, 203. Third month, 748. Fourth month, hit my goal. Fourth month of working, right at 1,000. Something happened on that fifth month. It stayed the same. My sponsor called like he did every month. He said, what's going on? How's your check? Are you excited? I said, yeah, it's 1,000. He said, was 1,000 last month? I said, yeah, but that's my goal. He goes, well, you were tripling and quadrupling. Do it again. I said, well, do you think I can? Because that was my goal. He goes, you've already proven it. The next month, my check went to $2,300, and I have never looked back. So here's the only variable, and all of you that are on this Zoom, it works is the same for all of us. Every single day, we have a corporate team, not very far from where I live, from where Mike lives, that has your back. We are providing you with customer service, innovative, creative products that absolutely work, a name that works, a compensation plan that has been streamlined with charts, which is a map to tell you exactly how to get to your next rank, and it will take you there. Just follow it by following 3 simple steps, the steps to success. You follow those steps to a T, do not deviate from them, and you will complete every chart that we have, which means that you will reach the top rank, which Mike and Brandy have reached in record time. Nina is on her way as well. So everything is there. So I took a 6.5-year career with my first company, met friends beyond the money I ever earned that introduced me to that ultimate body applicator. Didn't have a name at the time, but introduced me to the team of doctors and scientists that were back behind that creative product. Flew down and met them, tried the product. Second wrap, next day, I lost a size. I mean, where did it go? You know, that baffled me more than anything. But I thought, well, as long as it doesn't come back, I mean, everyone will want this product. And so with a fierce determination, with a partner in Mark Pentecost, who I'm telling you, Mark has been instrumental in running this company, the guts of this company, the leadership of this company. See, Mark started running the corporate team. I started being that first wrap girl. That's what I wanted to be able to do, is get in the houses, get in the hotels, wrap people, get product on them. That was my goal. Whether they said yes or no was irrelevant. My job was to get the product on them. So we went from selling 0 for a long time. It took people a while to understand what they had their hands on. A new company formed in 2001 with an innovative product that nobody had heard of. And we started building, we started gaining more confidence in who we were, more confidence in the compensation plan, more confidence in the industry, more confidence in us. And then that translated into a strong vision for the field. It took us 5 years for our first promotion to diamond. That's how long it took us. So that means very little income was coming in the beginning. Mark and I didn't pay ourselves in the beginning. We put everything back into the company, but we never wavered on our belief of what our product could do, on our compensation plan. And as we kept going, we started gaining some momentum. we started gaining some leadership. And I feel like right now, we just came off December of a leadership retreat with our top 20 leaders across the international market, along with our movers and shakers. And I have never been more impacted by this team than ever before. They have our backs, we have their backs. They have a vision, we have a vision. So together we feel like 2020, with the release of Skinny Brew, with the release of our tea, with the compensation plan, once again proven how lucrative it is, that we can go anywhere we want this year, as high as we want to go. And it's all about us just sharing this vision of who we are, where we've been, but most importantly, where we're going. Mike, that's what excites me. That's the briefest I've ever told my story. There's so much more there, but I'm telling you, I'm just so excited about this team that you have gathered here tonight and the fact that you've opened this up to the entire company.
Well, I think it's important for people to know your story, and you have an amazing story. I love to hear it, and I've heard it many times. And I think what's important tonight is, many people know your story. Some people have been fortunate to go to your house, and I've been to your beautiful house on the water, and you smiled and gave us tours. And I love that, because everybody wants that end result, Pam. And there's so many new people here, people that just joined a few days ago, a few weeks ago, a few years ago. So, maybe if you don't mind, share with us, what is it going to take when it comes down to, when you look at your 20 years and where you are today, but again, you started from scratch. I know there's no magic wand. Okay. I know you've wrapped people in airports and restaurants and strangers, and, you've been doing this for a long time, and all that has added up. But if you could share with us, a lot of people ask, what is it going to take for them to get to financial freedom?
Mike, this is such a big question. And so what I'd like everyone to do is to think about what you want. I knew what I wanted. Now, my position with this company is a little different because of the ownership. And I felt very obligated to bring this product to market. I felt like God had gifted me with the wrap. And I was fortunate and blessed, and I'm still filled with gratitude for it. So why can't we all be that way? I mean, when I think about it, you all have ownership. Every single one of you, if you've purchased a kit, you're the CEO of your own business. So you now have ownership rights to all of our product line, to our compensation plan, to the help of our field leadership team, to the help of our customer service, to our shipping and our handling, and our new Connect app that's really helping taking our business to another level. So all of you can embrace the fact that whether you've been here 5 years, 4 years, or 2 minutes, that you have the opportunity to do what I did, to do what Mark has done, to do what we did in the beginning. Mike, you're going to have your first $15.78 check in the industry. You're going to have your first $1,000 month. And you can decide, is that enough? I mean, that's a decision that you make every day. And if you're telling me that it's not working, then we need to look at what you're doing, because I can show you where it is working. And the only variable, and when I started to understand this, when I saw that man in front of that room that was making a 6-figure income a month, it ended up making a 7-figure monthly income. When I saw him and heard his story, that showed me that it was possible for anyone. And we can show you countless stories of people that started with nothing, that had lost everything, that were in food lines, that didn't have shelter, that have taken this product and this compensation plan and this opportunity and have changed their families' lives. So the only variable in this entire equation is you and your decision every single day. So here's the difference between since you asked about me and others, is I'm too stubborn to quit. I want more for myself and my family. I want legacy money. I have no issues with earning money because everywhere I go, they take it. And I want to go to better places. I want to go to places that honor who we are as human beings. I want everyone to have those experiences. And so in order for me to grow and evolve, I had to work on myself. I mean, if you saw my library of books, you would go, have you read all of these? Multiple times. I mean, my whole desk is littered with books, and I'm constantly in my car listening to the right people. I'm surrounding myself with people inside the industry and outside the industry. I only allow a few people into my sphere of influence. And, I don't allow the negativity. And that's why very quickly, if you're having a conversation with me, I will look at you intently in the eye and we will have that conversation. But very quickly, I'll say, is this what you want? What you just told me, is this what you want? And most of you will say, no. Then why are we talking about that? Because you're just going to get more of that. Let's talk about what you want and how you're going to get it. And how you're going to get it, two ways. And nothing outside of this. You're going to sign more customers than you ever have, and you're going to sponsor more distributors than you ever have. And if you're having a problem with either one of those, then that tells me you're not a product of the product. That 80-year-old, I mean, when I'm 80, you'll see me in the gym. I will be working out. I will be working out until the day I die, because these products give me the stamina and the belief that I can do it. So I shout that out to everybody. My girlfriends make fun of me because people say, well, I have this problem. Well, I have a solution. I have a product for that. And then the other side of that is the opportunity. Now, when I wasn't making a dime, I still believed in the opportunity. And so some of you are saying, but Pam, I only made $100. Do you know how many people would love to have an extra $100? The vast majority of the world. And if all you have to do is just go out and ask them. And so when I realized that I wasn't going to be playing God here. And that's what a lot of us do. And that is being in judgment of who's going to say yes, who's going to say no. See, that's not my job. I learned this early on, and it was the most invaluable thing I've ever learned. My job is to ask. That's it. I have an opportunity that I believe in 100-fold. How do I know? We have so many people that are millionaires quickly within It Works. Now, that wasn't the way in the beginning, but I knew that our compensation plan would pay it. I knew that our product worked. I knew who Mark and I were. I know our corporate team. See, I have that belief. And so you've got to get yourself to a meeting. You've got to watch more lives like this. You've got to let the products work for you. You've got to shout from the rooftops and learn the compensation plan. Get in there and dissect it. Get in there and look at it. Get in there and figure out, how do I earn that $100 fast start? How do I get to diamond or above and make those leadership bonuses? How do I get a comma in my check? And if your spouse isn't on board, when you get a comma in your check, he will start speaking French to you. He will start saying, when are we going to get our check? And that's what happens to most of us. So I don't believe in any excuses. I know that if I focus on two things, and this is not scrolling through my social media account to see what everyone else is doing. It doesn't matter what they're doing. What matters is what I am doing. Am I asking? Have you heard of It Works? Have you tried our new Skinny Brew? Are you interested in losing some extra pounds? Do you need some extra cash? I mean, the conversation, they will tell you, like Nina said, people that are, excuse me, Brandy said, people will, if you listen, they'll tell you what their needs are. They will tell you very quickly what their needs are, whether that's offline or online. So, Mike, you can't tell me this doesn't work. I have too many millionaires that we're paying checks with every single year. I have so many people making $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $500 a month, $5,000 a month. I mean, I have people that look down. They can't. They're so shy and humble and gracious that well, I made $2,000 last month. $2,000 in this industry. Do you know that that's rocking? I don't know companies that pay like us. You know, I just haven't seen it. I'm telling you, I have not seen it. And if there was a better comp plan, we would have it. We would absolutely have it in here because Mark and I want you to get paid. Our company is all about embracing you, about paying you, about liberating you, about talking about getting out of debt. We don't say go buy that car. We want you to buy that car. But let me tell you, I didn't get my car until recently. We wiped out all debt in the Sowder family, all debt. All houses are paid for, all cars are paid for, everything. Money in the bank, legacy money. That's what we want for you. But that starts with you earning that first $15.78. And the only way you're going to earn that is by becoming an asker and not caring. It's not your job whether they say yes or no. Your job is only to ask. And man, when I learned that, pressure off. Oh, I just ask. Okay. That's it. They say yes, they say no. Either way, it's fine. The no's just move out so you can get to more yeses. And then eventually, like with people in my family, people that were friends of mine, like the gentleman I talked about, the superintendent of school calls, once that job changes, once that car changes, once that house changes, once that debt is free, then here they come. So you just got to keep asking. That's it, Mike. It's an ask. That's it. And you should be asking while I'm talking. You should be asking now. Just go and ask 5 people on your phone right now. Whatever you're just jazzed about, ask them. All right, go do it right now.
Well, the beauty is you can just tag people too. You can just like tag people today. But now I want to go out to Pennsylvania real quick. And Mrs. Nina Moore, presidential top 150 income earner. She's been on fire all day live, half the night. And, you know, I thought it'd be appropriate for her to, you know, share a few words and see if she has any questions for you real quick, Pam, before we wrap up.
I am super honored to be on the call. You know, I had seen the Queen from the stage, but you and I got a chance to spend some time together in Newark first. And I was so, I think I had a different perception of who the Queen was. And when you stood in front of the room, when a young lady was talking about some things that were going on in her team, and you said, hold on a minute. You want to tell me what's really going on with you? I said, that is my sister from another mister right there. That's right. Say it like it is. Stop it with all that. You know, what is the problem? And I said, oh my God, I feel that. Like that is, you know, because there's some things that I learned early on in this profession. You know, I remember my first time joining my very first company in 2008, where I joined the company that Mike Patilla was a part of. I didn't know what I was doing. I knew that I was broke. I knew that I was broken. I knew that no one was going to help me get out of my situation. I had been praying to God, and then God answered. Someone lied to me and sent me to a meeting. I was angry about being there. I was broke. I didn't have the money to join. But I remember sitting in that room, and it reminded me of how you stood in that room in Newark, and you were asking the questions like, well, you want to tell me what's really going on with you? Because I found that I was making excuses. I was making excuses for myself, and I was giving myself permission to lick my wounds, and I was giving myself permission to feel like a victim, and I was giving myself permission to do all of those things. But at the end of the day, there was still a whole lot more month than money. And that day, I remember giving myself permission to just leap. You know, I knew that I put an emotional attachment to having to put that money back that I borrowed from my rent. And I don't suggest that people do that, right? Because not everyone is willing to do what I was willing to do to make sure that it got back, that I put it back in 48 hours. But what I do know is that it is really just limiting belief that holds us back. And that's the thing that I think I get from you all the time. Every time I hear you speak, it's just limiting belief and giving yourself permission to understand that the same way that you're rooting and cheering for every football team or baseball team or basketball team, and you're cheering and rooting for, you know, all these people that you don't even know who they are. What about you making a decision that you deserve to win? You deserve to finally, you know, break through of the struggle. And we weren't born or created to live a life of struggle, that we really were. And I am me, Nina Moore. I'm just a girl from the inner city, the hood of Philadelphia, born on a street that was so small, Pam, that your Bentley wouldn't fit down it. Okay. And if I could come from meager beginnings where I don't have a college degree. I had my first son when I was 15 years old. We're celebrating his 32nd birthday this week. I know I don't even look old enough to have a 32-year-old. But if I could do it with a high school education, a big desire to want to make my children proud, that this industry provides the liberty of being able to live the life that we were designed for. We were designed and created to live a life of abundance. And I'm so blessed to be a part of an industry and a profession in a company where there's no respect of persons here. You don't have to, you know, you could be from jail or Yale. I just said it earlier this evening. It doesn't matter. It's the most forgiving industry in the world. But we're at a point now where we're closer to the end of the month, right? And I think what I want from you, the Queen, is to now speak into the hearts and the minds of people who are looking at their volume and not seeing things the way that they would desire for them to be right now. What I know about what we have to see about vision is that you have to see a thing before you can see a thing, right? And I want you to really just speak to the hearts and minds of the people. Give them mark. What should they be doing? We've got 6 days left. There's a lot of things that happen in 6 days, right? What should people be doing? I want you to kind of get their focus off of what they see right in front of them and open their minds and their eyes to what they could see if they do the things that you're speaking to them right now. And then I want to go ahead and just say my thank you so much for being on. I love you so much.
Right. Oh, thank you, Nina. Wow. You know, you never know how you're going to impact somebody. So we should always just be so honest and so kind and so caring. And when I think about that first check that I got, you know, a lot of people, when I say that, they're thinking I'm going to say something more than that. But for me, that check showed me that work that I did up until that point. So, you know, what we've got to understand here is we are paid based off of our efforts and the efforts of our team. So I look at it like, if your check is not where you want it to be, look back at the efforts. It's the best way to put this is, I look at this as the adult report card. That's how I look at it. And if I want A's on my report card, I've got to do the work. I can't expect somebody else to do the work for me. It's like my son came in one day and said he got an F on his paper and he blamed the teacher. And, you know, my son at that time was where the height he is today, which is 6'5". And I pulled him by the ear, took him in the bathroom and said, now who's responsible for that grade? And once you look at yourself in the eye, you cannot lie. And so look at yourself in the mirror, in the eye, and ask, who is responsible for this? Because let me assure you of this. The check is a direct reflection of the work. We don't not pay you. We pay you. We pay you based off of a compensation plan that you can pull off right now in print and understand how you get paid. So I never looked at the $15.78 as lack. I celebrated it. I was grateful for it. And so I know from that point, going to that 203, think about that. What an increase that is. Now, for some, it could be 1,500. I know people that have had a $1,500 check that go to $9,000 in 1 month. Why? Because of all the months of work that led up to that. And here's the other side of the coin. If your check is 10,000 and it's going backwards, it didn't start going backwards the month the check dropped. It started going backwards months and months prior because that you sat down. You didn't do the things that you were doing that kept it going and kept that mojo going. It's, I'm celebrating my 40th anniversary this year with my husband. And I can assure you, I would not be celebrating this 40th anniversary had I sat down and just expected it to grow, expected it to evolve, expected it to be more. Forget it. It wouldn't be here. Life is not that way. We have to be grateful. We have to honor. We have to pour into it. Pour into our team, become a better leader, become a better asker. All of this is about growth. And then we've got to decide, what are we worth? And celebrate those small things. Celebrate the small things, because the small things start to become the big things. Celebrate the distributor who gets 2 loyal customers. Celebrate the distributor who gets 2 more and then 2 more. Celebrate the distributor that just joined, had the guts to join and start with you, and then get in their eyes and ask them, what do you want? What are you looking for? What do you want out of this opportunity? Who are you? Why did you join? Why are we here? I was never a mass enroller, but what I was is a mass mover. See, I could understand what you were looking for. I cared about what you were looking for. I poured into you as long as you were pouring back into your business. And so I also want you to play with the players. Don't try to push and pull anybody through this, because that means you're pushing and pulling yourself. It's a direct reflection of who you are. You decide right here, right now, what you want. And that check will match you, energy for energy, every single time.
Absolutely. Pam, you're awesome. And you know what? I just want everyone on the call here tonight to know that, if you look at where Pam is today, and I think Pam would back me up on this, because of timing and positioning and what's happening with this company, guys, you can do this 10 times faster than Pam.
Mm-hmm.
People like Pam and Mark and even Cammie, if you look at when she joined, Joel and Stephanie Dunn, these people paid the price. They paved the way to make it easier for every single one of us. And that's what I have recognized, Pam. And that's why I'll say, like what Jim Rohn said, this is serious stuff. This is not to be taken lightly. This is game changing for you and your family. You can be the category creator of generational wealth in your family. And that's exactly what we're here to do. And for every single one of you on this call tonight, that's why we recorded this call, because, I love your story, Pam, because it's raw and it's real, and you put the work in, you put the time in. Mm-hmm. And, it just gets down to, you're just, no BS. You just get right down to the black and white, and it is all about that activity. And I love that about you. And it's bled into your daughter, Kay. I mean, she's been practicing this for 10 years and created generational wealth, and your kids. And so for everybody on the call here tonight, you know what, let's tag all of our contacts into this Zoom, right? We've got this live, we can share this message, and we're going to keep sharing this, Pam, because right now we're going to close the month out strong. We know you've got the family call coming up here in just a few minutes, but from everybody on this call here tonight, I'm actually going to unmute the lines. I want everyone just to get your cameras on, right? Show Pam a smile and your excitement. And we're just going to scream you off this call. We're just going to scream you off with excitement so you can just hear it. Let's unmute everybody.
I'll take all the love. Come on, everybody.
Let's get them unmuted. I think they are.
Thank you, Pam. We love you from Mexico.
Love you, Pam.
Love you.
Thank you, Pam. We love you.
Thank you so much.
Love you.
Yeah.
Congrats.
You can feel the love.
We
All
love
right,
you,
guys. Let's
Pam.
have an awesome night.
Thank you guys for hosting this. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you, Ambassador. Love you, President.